Once upon a time, there was a guy named Bob who really wanted to impress his new girlfriend Sarah with a romantic home-cooked dinner. Bob had never cooked anything more complicated than instant noodles, but he watched one quick video online, and suddenly felt like a master chef. So early that morning, he drove to the grocery store, grabbed a shopping cart, and started filling it with everything he could find. He picked up chicken, vegetables, spices, and even a fancy bottle of wine, but in his excitement, he accidentally grabbed cat food instead of tuna, and didn't notice until later. Back at home, Bob rolled up his sleeves, put on an apron that said "Kiss the Cook," and began chopping onions with wild enthusiasm. Tears streamed down his face from the onions, so he wiped his eyes with the same hand covered in chili powder, which made everything burn like crazy. Undeterred, Bob mixed the sauce, but confused salt with sugar, and added way too much of both, turning it into a weird sweet and salty glue. He threw the chicken into a hot pan, but forgot to thaw it first, so it sizzled angrily and shot frozen bits everywhere like tiny ice rockets. Then the smoke detector went off with a piercing beep. Bob climbed on a wobbly chair to silence it, lost his balance, and knocked over a whole shelf of plates that crashed to the floor in a dramatic explosion. Just as he was trying to save the burning vegetables, the doorbell rang, and there stood Sarah, looking beautiful and curious about the strange smells wafting out. Bob, covered in flour and soot, welcomed her in with a nervous laugh, saying everything was under control, but the kitchen looked like a battlefield after a food fight war. They both started laughing so hard that tears came again, this time from joy, and decided to order pizza instead while sitting on the couch surrounded by the mess. And Sarah said it was the most memorable date she had ever been on. From that night on, they made a tradition of attempting crazy recipes together, turning every kitchen disaster into their favorite funny memories, and lived happily with lots of takeout and laughter ever after.